Hey, this is Marie, episode 64. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that I have for you today is a finished hat. I did a Musselburgh hat, and I used two different kinds of yarns. The first one, I'm just looking down at my notes to see the kinds. The first one that I have is this universal yarn. There we go. And it's Techno is the color, number 108. And this is the first time I've knit with this yarn. And I do like it. It's a little bit on the thicker side of the fingering weight. And then the second yarn that I alternated with is this Helping Hippos by Lolo Did It. And it's a 2018 colorway. And so what I did was I put the Techno on this side and then the Helping Hippos on this side, and I striped a couple of rows of this Techno in here. So I really love how it turned out. I knit the size adult large. I used size 3 needles, 3.25 millimeter. And then you just kind of push one side into the other. And so that you have two hats. You have this hat, and then you can do the mostly gray speckled Lolo Did It hat as a different hat. Let's see if I can get it. And I love how it turned out. It's super cute. Look at that. Yay. Like that. You can make it more slouchy, or you could fold it up. Cold, but then this would be like 4 layers of yarn knit around your ears if you were really cold. So I just love these Musselburgh hats. They're so fun to knit. So I started off with a pinhole cast on. You start off on one end and you do a pinhole cast on, and then you just knit. It kind of goes in like a little square. And then I just kept knitting until I got to a length that I wanted. And the pattern is just called the Musselburgh hat. So, and this is the second one. I believe it's the second one I've knit. And I really like it. I'm definitely going to knit some more. So, all right. So the next thing that I have is a pair of socks that I knit. And I used 2 Homespun House colorways. These are the colorways. Lumos is this one. And then a Harry Potter colorway that I don't have the tag anymore, but they're both from Homespun House. I really love them. I definitely have a lot of this pink left over for another pair of socks or a hat or something like that in the future. But this is how they turned out. I love them. They're so fun. And so I just did a couple of rows of the pink on the top of the ribbing, and then I did the heels and toes in the pink, and I love how they turned out. They're vanilla afterthought heel socks, and so you basically just knit a tube. So I did like a 2x2 rib, and I put in waste yarn, and then I went back in and put a heel in afterwards. So, but you just knit like a big tube, and it's super easy, you know, once you learn, you know, how to do it. So you should try it out totally. Okay, so the next pair of socks that I have, there's this thing called the Summer Sock Camp, and it's put on by Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady. And she has a YouTube channel. She also has a brick and mortar store that she sells yarn and notions and things for knitters and crocheters in Ohio. And so you can go ahead, and I'll link down below her channel and her video where she tells all the details about joining the Summer Sock Camp Knit Along. And so what you do is you just knit socks, and then you go into her Ravelry group and you post finished pictures of the socks in different cabins. Like it has, like, depending upon what needles you use to knit your socks, she tells you which cabin to post your socks in for prizes. So this is my first pair for the Summer Sock Camp Knit Along. Oh my gosh, it's a tongue twister. And I love how it turned out. These are Homespun House yarns, and I did blueberry waffle socks, and let me see if I can put it up so you can see the pattern. But it's just like a waffle pattern, and it fits really, really nice. I love it. It's a free pattern. I'll go ahead and link down below in the notes the link to get the pattern. And I used size 2.75 needles. I used DPNs, double point needles, and I cast on 64 stitches. And let me show you the yarns that I used. So I used all Homespun House yarns. This one is Amethyst. These are all in her plump merino base. So Amethyst, this one is Footloose, and then Double Dare. So I love them. I have so much more of them left. I can do socks or leg warmers or whatever I want with the leftovers, or maybe even a hat. So I love the Homespun House, and I also will link her down below, her shop. You should go check her out. All right, so the next thing that I have, let me just change the page in my notes. Okay, so I'm just doing these in the order that I made them. And so I have a couple of sewing projects that I totally think that you would like and maybe want to make. So I made these, I was like on YouTube, and I found this YouTube channel. Let me see if I have the name, Jess Okla Roots. And I'll go ahead and link her down below, and this video, also the tutorial video. And this one had a pattern that came along with it that you purchased. And I made these vinyl bags. So I thought it would be really cool. I was seeing these on the internet, and I thought I would like to try my hand at sewing them. And I didn't know how hard it would be, if it would be super hard. And I went ahead and ordered some vinyl so I could try it to see how I liked it. And I love how they turned out. So I wanted to make one for my boss, and I made one for her. And then I made two other ones, and these are the two that I made. This one has like some sparkly stars on the fabric in the middle. And then, you know, a zipper. The actual pattern has like a large, it has, you can either put a zipper all the way across, or you can put a smaller, shorter zipper and put a big grommet right here. And then with the grommet, you could put a handle or something like that if you wanted to carry it around. But I thought it would be super fun to make these for trips, or for storing your notions, or whatever, snacks, any kind of thing that you want to store and bring to the office, or bring on a trip, or in the car, or anything like that. So, and then this one has like a little castle on it, like it's like a Disney castle. So, and this one is just like a disco ball. It's so sparkly, and the vinyl in the middle is sparkly also. So I love it. You just have to kind of go slow, and she has a video showing, like, to go along with the pattern, how to do everything. So if you just follow her video, you should be okay with, you know, doing it. The very first one I made, I'm going to show it to you, even though it's a little janky. Okay, so I didn't follow the pattern exactly on this one. I was nervous about folding it over on the edges, and I went ahead and just did a zigzag. So if you were nervous about your machine going through the layers and maybe thinking that it won't, you could just do this zigzag around the edges, and it wouldn't be so thick, and it would just be a little easier to sew. So this is the first one that I made. I'm going to go ahead and show you, I'm going to put a picture of the one I made for my boss in here. Okay, and I totally think that it is a doable pattern. The pattern is by Sewn Ideas, and it's a pay-for pattern. And so I'll link it below, and then the YouTube channel, Jess Okla Roots, she has like a video that takes you step by step how to do it. You just need to pay for the pattern in order to get like the pattern pieces and all of that, and the cuts that you need to make. And so I just, you know, cut them all out and And I printed them off the internet, off of a PDF, and taped them together. So it was super fun. I'm definitely making more. I already got some more vinyl. There's so many cute things out there now. Thing that I have is another pair of summer sock camp socks. Let me go ahead and show you those. So I decided to make a pair of shorties, like super shorties. So like maybe for summertime or something like that. And I thought, I had seen on a video where someone was saying that they just did a little bit of ribbing and then barely any knitting to make the shorties, like just a few rounds. So I think they did 6. I just went ahead and did 7 rounds. So this is my second pair for the summer sock camp knit along. And these are just shorties. I used this yarn. Let me see, Opal Sweet and Spicy 3. And I have plenty of it left over. Maybe for another pair of shorties with maybe different cuffs and toes and heels. So this is what they look like. And I can't wait to wear them because they're super fun. I love the colors. So I cast on 64. I did a 2x2 rib. I did it for 19 rows. Then I knit 7 rows. And then I put in the Afterthought heel waist yarn. And then I went ahead and knit down to the bottom, put in the toe, and went back and put in the heel. But they were really quick. So definitely I'm going to be making more shorties. And I'll go ahead and link all this down below so you can go back and check it out. All right, so the next thing that I made was another thing from Jess Okla Roots sewing tutorials. So she had just recently, like, I don't know, last week or something like that, the week before, she had a bucket hat pattern. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's so cute. I want to try to make one of those, like a sun hat for gardening. And it was reversible. And it was a free pattern. So I'll link all of this down below. The free pattern is from Mood. And then you just print it out, you tape it together, and then you pick what size you think you would wear. And they kind of tell you what size, you know, according to your head measurement or whatever. And it's reversible. So then you pick 2 fun or more. You could just do a total scrappy one with all kinds of different crazy colors. And she makes several versions of it, including some with vinyl and different things. And she makes it thicker by adding different weights of iron-on interfacing. So this is what I made. I made a strawberry on one side. And then I made Scooby-Doo on the other side. And it was super fun. I had it all cut out, the pattern, and it took about 3 hours for me to sew it. And I think it was because it was my first one and I was kind of going slow, watching the video, you know, step by step how to do it. And she goes through how to do it. Basically, if you already have a hat pattern, a bucket hat pattern, you can just use the pattern you have and then just follow her tutorial so that you can see how to do it. Because I think that most of the bucket hat patterns are similar. So I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. Oh my gosh. And you know, you can do all kinds of modifications to it. You can make it, this one I look like Blossom, right? Or something. I don't even know if you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, this is what it looks like. It's a little crazy, but you know what? It keeps the sun off of your face, right? And so I made an adult large. It was a super easy pattern. As long as, you know, you follow the video and see how to do it, I don't think you should run into any problems. And you can make the brim shorter. You can make sewing lines along the brim. I thought about doing that, but I didn't do it on this one. I might on my next one do that. I'm not sure, but this is kind of just like a sample to see if I could do it and if I like it. And I definitely want to make more. So you should definitely check that one out. Okay, so the next one, oh, I should show you the Scooby-Doo. So there's Scooby-Doo. Gosh, it's kind of crazy, but I do love it for sure. Yeah, I mean, you could do like a normal pattern too, you know, and you could, you know, put different weights of interfacing in here to make it thicker. I just used one thin like interfacing that I ironed on to just the brim part on the strawberry fabric, not on the Scooby-Doo fabric. And the rest was just one layer of cotton fabric, you know, from wherever, Joann's or whatever. This was from my stash, but okay. So the next thing that I have, I went on a car trip and I've been trying to get my Ziggy Interrupted done. So I am using a size G hook. Oh, so this is what it looks like, a G crochet hook. And this is how it's turning out. It's so bright and pretty. I love the colors. Oh my gosh. And then I'm going to be putting tassels like hanging off of the end, but I'm not there yet. This is kind of a long-term project. So, and you just crochet the zigzags, you crochet a bunch of these little squares, and I put those on originally when I started the project a while ago, and then I just kept crocheting on it. And so the pattern has where you're making several sets of these squares, and I decided I just want to do the squares at one end and then at the other end. And I have a bunch of squares already made for the other end, so now I'm just currently working on the middle portion, making it long enough so that I can finish it up. And then I'm going to be making the tassels. So hopefully I'll have that done sometime soon. But I do love how it's turning out. If you're interested in any of the colorways that I used, go ahead and message me down below in the comments. And then I can look up the colorway you might be interested in. But I'm using all different kinds of sock yarns. So I love that project. All right, the next thing that I have is Denver Cruise projects, and then I have a garden update. So stay tuned if you're interested in any of that. If not, I'll see you next time. Bye.